I was a quarterback in Athens, Georgia, 60 miles from here. We won the state championship in all the schools. And whoa, Georgia, here we are. And we won the state championship here, and all the colleges were recruiting me. But the only college that really wasn't recruiting me was my hometown of Athens, Georgia, the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Bulldogs. And the reason they didn't recruit me, they had 2 quarterbacks they had drafted the year before who were great quarterbacks, and they didn't need me. But the local people put pressure on me, took me, even though they didn't want me. Back in those days, the freshmen couldn't play football in the varsity. So I didn't play until my sophomore year. And as we come into my sophomore year, these other 2 quarterbacks, Charlie Britt and Tommy Lewis, were number 1 and number 2. And the coach said to me, "Fran, you're a great player and you're a great guy, and we want you to play for us down the road, but we're going to redshirt you," which means they're not going to play me, but I'd have an extra year of education. I said, "I'm going to graduate in 4 years, Coach. And I think I can help your team, and I want to play right now, and I'm going to work real hard to change your mind when we come back in the fall." And I worked all summer, and I worked out, and I was ready to go. We come back to the fall, getting ready for the season, go through practices, and I was better than these 2 guys. But he wasn't going to play me. He was going to redshirt me. And I was determined not to be redshirted. I didn't know what a sense of desperation was, but I had a sense of desperation. Have you ever been to that point when you knew you could do something, but they wouldn't let you do it? They were holding me back. We went out to Texas to play our first game in Austin, Texas, against the Texas Longhorns. Any Texans in here? And we went out to play those Texas Longhorns on Saturday night television, and it was 70,000 people in the stadium. It was lights, and I was 19 years old, sophomore. I was so excited, but I wasn't going to play. I was going to sit on the bench all night. So we get out there on the field and start the game, and I didn't sit on the bench. Don't ever sit on the bench. I stood right next to our coach, Wally Butts. I stood right next to him, and all during the game, I said, I think Charlie Britt's getting a little tired out there. He's limping. I think he's hurt. He hurt his leg. I need to go in there, Coach, and give him just a break. Just let me go in for one play. I bugged him the entire night. We went through 2 1/2 quarters. We're in the midway in the 3rd quarter. We're behind 7-0. And I'm really desperate. I've got to get myself in. I don't know what to do. But they punt to us. And we have a guy that fair catches the punt on the 5-yard line. I'm standing on the 50-yard line. I look back here, and Charlie Britt, the other quarterback who had been playing, he was sitting on the bench. I looked at him. I looked at all the chaos on the field, changing players. I bolted on the field. I put myself in. I ran out in the field, put myself in. He never saw me. Later on, Charlie Britt, the other quarterback, he said, "You put yourself in? I thought he put you in." I said, no, I put myself in. And I said, most of my errors are errors of assumption. Assume nothing, question everything. Too bad, Charlie. So I'm out in the field, and my teammates have said, "What are you doing out here? You're supposed to be red-shirted." I said, "Well, we're going to play." We start driving. We make a first down. We make 2 first downs. We make 3 first downs. We're at the 40-yard line. I look over at the coach, and I acknowledge him out there. He didn't blink. We go down to the 5-yard line. Now we're stymied. We're losing 7-0. It's in the 4th quarter of the game. It's now 3rd down and 5 yards, and we gotta make it. But we gotta score on this play, or we're done. So I call a pass play, and I came out, and Texas was really good, and he rushed the passer, and I ran to the right, and I ran to the left. Then I circled back, and they called me a scrambler, and I ran more to the right, and finally, just before they tackled me, I threw the ball, hit our end in the end zone, catches the ball. We have a touchdown. Now the score is Texas 7, Georgia 6. They put our extra point kicker to come on the field to tie the game with an extra point. But this was the first year we had the option to kick an extra point like they do now, or go for 2 points. I waved, at 19 years old, I waved the kicker off the field. Waved him off the field. I tell our team, I said, "Now guys, we're going to go for 2 points. If we don't make it, you're going to fly back to Athens, Georgia from Austin, Texas, but I'm going to have to take the bus. He'll never let me back on that plane again. So I call another play, and I roll out to the right, circle back to the left. I'm being rushed by their team, and I've got good news and bad news for you. I've got a guy wide open in the end zone. I got a 6'4", 210-pound end wide open in the end zone. But this end was named Gordon Kelly. He ended up being a linebacker of the National Football League, and he had hands of stone. If I threw him 10 balls, he had dropped 9. But he was open. I had no other choice. I said a little prayer, and I threw it, and I hit him right between the 8 and the 4. I mean, I threw him a perfect ball. And it hit his hands, went right through his hands, hit his chest, and started falling to the ground. I saw my life going away right then. I was cranking up that Greyhound bus to go back to Athens, Georgia, because I wasn't going to get a seat on the plane. And I saw this big old 6'4" guy. He crumbled to the ground. He fell to the ground, and he stretched out his long arms, and he caught it. And we made the turn point. Now, think about that in your life now. Who's in control of your life? You are. Every morning, create a sense of desperation to get things done, to help people. And you have a better chance. I didn't know what desperation was then, but I know what it is now. And in that situation, if I don't take that move, I may never play quarterback for Georgia. I may still be sitting on the bench.